What successful propaganda effort do people still believe in today? That teeth are supposed to be perfectly white. People should know that a healthy set of teeth doesn't mean they're perfectly white. Super white teeth are not even normal. Our enamel will slowly become more translucent as we age, revealing the color of the dentin, which is yellow, underneath it. That's why, as we get older, our teeth will become yellower. Doesn't mean they're not healthy or unclean. Many Korean people believe that fans can cause death. Even my mother, who moved to America in her mid-teens, still prohibits me from leaving a fan on overnight for fear of death. There is a conspiracy theory that the South Korean government spread this myth as propaganda to prevent energy overusage, but its origins are unknown. It's strange that many Koreans believe this myth, considering it is one of the most technologically advanced countries. Carrots make your vision better. This rumor was started in World War II to hide the invention of radar. The public was told that Allied pilots found the German bombers during the Blitz because they had good eyesight, because they ate their carrots. But in reality, it was that the British had an early radar system in place that they did not want the Germans to find out about and bomb. That Napoleon Bonaparte was short. He was 5 feet and 7 inches tall, which might be a little bit on the shorter side by modern standards, but it was around the average height for people back then. The idea that he was short actually came from a British propaganda campaign to mock him. That big curvy line of toothpaste with a Dairy Queen curl we've seen in every toothpaste ad. You don't need more than a pea-sized smear of paste on your brush. Diamonds as a symbol of eternal love. Apparently, in the 80s, KFC ran a Christmas-themed ad in Japan, and to this day, the Japanese eat KFC on Christmas. When I was in Japan on Christmas, I won some dumb quiz at a party, and they gave me fried chicken because they believed that was our traditional Christmas food. It was ridiculous, and it is one of those really odd memories of mine. That if you ask if someone is a cop, if they are a cop, they legally are required to say yes, they are. Of course, they aren't required to. That defeats the entire purpose of working undercover. When Edward Bernays, the father of public relations, literally renamed propaganda that we want people to think is not bad to public relations and advertising, and he literally admitted it in a book he made called Propaganda. Propaganda is quite literally just media that is attempting to persuade you. It might be honest or dishonest, but no matter what, it is still propaganda. That the old woman who sued McDonald's over burning herself with her coffee was just money hungry. For clarity, an elderly woman was a passenger in a car, pulled over in the lot to add sugar after getting a coffee, and it spilled all over her lap. It burned her really bad, and she just set out to get McDonald's to pay her hospital bills because they served the coffee way too hot. They ended up launching this whole PR campaign where they smeared this poor lady, even taking out spots in local papers over how silly and money-hungry she was. Comedians, musicians, and radio hosts made fun of her and made her out to be money-hungry instead of a victim. Knuckle cracking gives you arthritis. The myth that Spartans threw unhealthy babies off mountains, this was Athenian propaganda. That fat is unhealthy, the nutrient that is not actually being fat. Absinthe makes you hallucinate was propaganda because it was hurting the wine industry. That turning the light on in the back seat of the car is illegal. MSG will kill you and is horrible to ingest. I'm allergic to MSG. Really, it is delicious and your body produces it naturally while breaking down regular salt. Some people do have sodium issues, and it may not be good for them, but that's a tiny micro percentage of people. People still believe dogs don't see in color when in fact they do. They see less of it than humans do, but they most definitely see in color. Camels don't store water in their humps. They store fat in their humps. Autism and vaccines. The original guy wanted to advertise his own vaccine, but did not disclose this when he published a hit piece on the mainstream vaccine at the time in a reputable journal. His alternative vaccine failed, his paper was bashed and ultimately retracted, yet people smart enough to work at Google don't vaccinate their kids. That a man should spend 2 months' salary for his future wife's wedding ring, which absolutely must be a diamond. Screw that. I spent a total of $150 for my wife's ring and she fucking loves it, and it's a sapphire. Diamonds are no more precious than any other precious gem, and manufactured gems are way easier to come by, are more perfect, and so much cheaper. As long as it's an actual ruby, sapphire, emerald, etc., it will be just as good as one dug out of the ground. Fake ones are good for a teen gift or just friends kind of gift, but they'll shatter pretty easy compared to the real thing. That you only use 10% of your brain. In reality, you use pretty much all your brain capacity, so neuroscience has proven quite thoroughly. Lie detector tests are accurate. They're junk science at best. People, when the inventor of the device and procedures used is on a record saying it's crap, we should probably listen. Looking at you, Florida, for allowing LD test results as evidence in court. The lie that nuclear power is terrible. It is worse than renewables. However, instead of chucking huge quantities of dangerous waste into the air like a coal power plant, it can all be contained, and 95% can be reprocessed into new fuel. In the 60s and 70s, a lot of oil giants used advertising to link its reputation to the very real danger of nuclear weapons. And if this hadn't have happened, global warming would have been much less of an issue. Very few people realize that coal power actually causes more deaths per MW than nuclear power due to nitrous oxide emissions, even when Chernobyl is included in the statistics. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and that cereal, toast, sugary things are part of a balanced breakfast. Know plenty of people who function perfectly without eating anything for breakfast. If you masturbate, you will go blind. Drinking fountains are unhealthy. The bottled beverage industry commissioned and publicized a series of studies in the early 1990s when they decided to get into the bottled water business. The problem was that their largest competitor was free and available in schools, parks, and public buildings everywhere. Anyone who took even a semester of biology knows that if you walk around and swab and culture anything, you'll find that it's covered in bacteria. That's ecology on planet Earth. That a 4-year college education is the only way you'll succeed in life. That Iraq had something to do with 9/11.